So I'm David Avgi. I'm the co-founder of SafeCharge Group. We are listed in London Stock Exchange. And today we discussed about SafeCharge and China's strategy. What does it mean for us, China, for SafeCharge? So first of all, we are a global payment technology company. We embrace commerce transformation, obviously, and we enhance customer experience, which eventually increase the merchant's revenue. In this presentation, you will see how the SafeCharge bridge is for Chinese merchants that selling globally, and how SafeCharge facilitate, as a technology provider, we facilitate payment for Chinese merchants that selling globally. And you will also see how SafeCharge is facilitating payments for Chinese consumers that buying in physical shops in the UK or buying from online shops globally. A little bit about us. SafeCharge is electronic money issuer with licenses from the Financial Conduct Authority in the UK. And we are a principal member of the major schemes like Visa and MasterCard. We also signed with Tencent 2 years ago, and we were the first to launch WeChat Pay in the UK in several locations. We're also offering Alipay in our in-store application. So we are 380 employees with offices. Let's start from the east. We just opened an office in Shenzhen 3 weeks ago. We have offices in Hong Kong and Singapore, and R&D in Israel and in Bulgaria. And as you can see, we are very focused in Europe, in the UK, and more offices coming next year in the US and also in Mexico. 54% of our employees are in technology and R&D. Only 15% in sales and marketing. This will be changed in the future. We will be more sales organization because we developed so far our infrastructures. And a little bit numbers about us. You can see in the last 5 years since we floated the business in London Stock Exchange in 2014, we are on 31% CAGR or growth on the transaction value and also on the number of transactions. And we just announced to the market last week that the business will hit the $14 billion in transaction value in 2018, 46% growth compared to 2017, and 22% growth in the revenues. And this is where we are operating. SafeCharge is operating in the e-commerce market, and it's a huge market. The global e-commerce payment is $3 trillion market. You can see the locations, how much of it is in China, Europe, and North America. The market expands by more than $300 billion in addressable market, in addressable volume each year. You can see the growth of the e-commerce, especially on the cross-border, with 25% growth on annual basis, and take into account that it's only online, and online is representing 20% of the global market. So we are in a very good spot, let's say, with infrastructure and with accelerations to grow. I want to share with you some global trends that SafeCharge identify. First of all, cashless world. A lot is done in the UK with contactless, and a lot is done with unattended. SafeCharge invested heavily in unattended businesses, which we deploy it in the UK, and we also have plans also to work in China. Everything is based on internet technology. Omni-channel, we enable to our consumers to buy online, mobile, and at the point of sale. We discussed a lot about technology, but we are investing a lot in AI and machine learning. Cross-border payment as a growth factor for us. You can see the 25% growth on a yearly basis. And eventually, the most important is the flawless customer experience. And how it is done, basically. We set in our strategy 3 pillars. The first one is globalization. We have access to more than 150 local payment methods globally. That's what we allow to Chinese consumer to pay in the UK with WeChat Pay and Alipay, same as we will offer to Portuguese consumers to pay with Multibanco, or to Dutch to pay with Ideal, and to Russians with Kiwi. So globalization is a key for SafeCharge. Omni-channel, very important, online, mobile, and at the point of sale. And innovation, with our R&D and technology team, we are investing a lot on AI, machine learning, and smart routing, and other payment technologies. In China, the strategic steps that we've done so far, first of all, we opened the office in Shenzhen. You can see the team, and you really need to have a local presence in order to support Chinese merchants. You need to develop the product, do localization. We basically now do localizations to all our back office, to Chinese, support the time zone properly, and support, the branding, the marketing, everything, all the marketing materials we'll share with you more about it. And we are here basically to seek, this is the most important for me here, and why I arrived today, is to seek strategic partnership with Chinese groups to support our growth and our support to the Chinese merchants, to the Chinese consumers. We started the POC in the last 12 months in China, and you can see now that we already have some successful wins of online marketplaces to the left that using today the SafeCharge technology to sell globally. Companies like Banggood, Chickwish, DH Gates. We have others, online marketplaces that will basically use our payment technology to accept payments from consumer. And now I will ask Yoav if you can come and talk more about the Chinese payments and what we do for them. Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
My name is Yoav. I used to live in Shanghai for the last 11 years. And I've been noticing a tremendous change in the last decade. I think I'm lucky to be in China during this decade. And it was presented before the development of technology. And I would like to mention a few factors that will be reflected later in my presentation. So the mobile penetration, a lot of attention for collecting data. The product quality have improved a lot in China during the last 10 years, and a very careful attention to the consumer journey. And obviously, the large domestic market allows companies like Alibaba and Tencent, or Xiaomi even, to grow to where they are today. Today, we will take a small part of our business and as a business case, and to share it with you as a practical sense of what we do between China and UK. And we'll focus more on understanding the Chinese payment methods. So first of all, let's look on the potential. The potential, the business potential, is the Chinese travelers or the Chinese tourists. You can see the rising figures of Chinese visits, as well as the spending of last year was almost 700 million pounds, and the average spending of a Chinese tourist. And this is obviously, first of all, there's no news. It's growing from year to year. I believe next few years it will still grow. And this is obviously a potential that we can address as a commercial company. On the right, you can see the averages of Chinese spending in other countries. So this is the potential. And as a payment company, we always look on the consumer's behaviors. When we analyze what kind of front end we should provide them, we would like to understand our consumers. So let's take a look closely on Chinese travelers' unique preferences, what they are looking for when they are traveling abroad. So it was found, and this is the research done by Alipay and Nielsen just recently. The experience is far more important than the price, than the fee, and the affordability is only ranked as fifth, where experience ranked as the #1 factor for Chinese tourists. Shopping is an essential part of the trip. In planning of the budget and eventually in expenditure, research found shopping was 25% of the spending during a trip, and later hotels and meals. They spend more than other travelers. We can see a comparison between Chinese and other Western tourists in the UK, and this is for shopping only. And this is something I will emphasize during the rest of the presentation, the heavy use of mobile. Whoever, and half of the audience here are Chinese, so you understand what I'm about to say, but use of mobile phone is done massively during the whole day and very naturally. And when a Chinese tourist is coming to UK, he's traveling actually via the mobile. He's looking for recommendations, of course taxis, and finding his places, and also payment, everything through the mobile. And 97% mentioned that they prefer to use payment through the mobile while they are traveling. Another factor is, and this is related also to the culture, that I believe that every business that is engaging in China should address also the culture issues in China, is the preference for official channels such as the duty-free and buy and purchase through brands that are recognized and not just by pop-up shop in the street. So it's somehow related to risk. Chinese tourists tend less to be risky. But also the brand is something that was one of the changes that happened in China in the last decade, is a lot of brand awareness. And this is also something that we recognize. Very clear slide here. We can see the comparison between the different payment methods. On the left side, the Chinese tourists and non-Chinese tourists on the right. And you can see the difference between cash, credit cards, and the heavy use of mobile payments. Dig a little bit more. The reasons for using mobile payments, again, taking from the research done by Alipay and Nielsen. So first of all, it's convenient, and it's very, very simple to use. I will mention later why it is so convenient. And why it is so smooth, actually, when we operate it through the day. But again, emphasizing a Chinese wake up in the morning and might use his mobile payment 7 or 8 times during the day for different kind of, any kind of payments. So this is something that they are very used to do. I will skip maybe a few of the others, but currencies, while paying through the mobile, is flawless. They can see the amount eventually in RMB, in Chinese currency, and it's flawless to them. They don't need to calculate while they're using the mobile payment. Discount over the purchase is very important. Discount is one of the first factors to attract consumptions. And behind, again, behind this mobile phone, there's not only the payment and the amount. There's a lot of marketing promotions, social references, and there's a lot of information actually provided before they come to the store. So this, for every merchant here in UK, as a payment company, we need to explain and understand how deep is the social information flow and how much they should invest in marketing, actually. Let's continue. So here is how Chinese shoppers differ from Western. So 75% of Chinese post online after they bought something, where 21% in global average. And also, so they will, after they do a purchase, they will tell about it in the social network, and they will be very active online. And this is also something that is important to understand. This is a slide I would like to focus on. I took as an example WeChat by Tencent. In the same sense, it can be Alipay to express what I would like to emphasize. You can see the different services that Tencent is actually providing, and below the equivalent from services, internet services in worldwide. So through social networking, the chat itself, the moments, which is pretty much similar to Facebook, later on for entertainment, for music and videos, information such as news, software and tools, the email, of course, and the payment, the maps, and on the left-hand side, the lifestyle and daily services such as ordering taxis. Didi will be equivalent to Uber, restaurants, TripAdvisor, etc. So all these services are provided under one roof, which is Tencent. And this is one of the important reasons why it is so simple. It is all there in one application. So when you wake up in the morning, you order your taxi, you buy your coffee, you do a transfer to a friend that you borrowed last night and you give back the money to. You do some investment. You send money to your mother. You win a coupon. You buy online, everything within one application. And this is why it's becoming so simple. Another important factor is the amount of data that is collected from all these services. And this data is allowing companies like Tencent, and I think in the last 4 years, that was a race between the Chinese big groups, how to collect more and build the channels to collect more data, because data services is the future. Here we can now apply AI and provide the better business conclusions and progress with our services. So this is the data cycle for payments for WeChat Pay, as an example again, but there's a lot of other services, data-based services that are provided based on this application. Now, when a merchant here in UK would like to attract Chinese tourists, he needs to be aware of that. He needs to be aware that there's a lot of services waiting for him there to be applied. These are examples for different marketing campaigns. We have mini programs, which is pretty much applications that can be developed within the ecosystem. Hongbao, red package. These are red envelopes that are provided in celebrations or as gifts. These are campaigns that you can actually walk into a store, scan the red package, and might get some cashback reward back from Tencent. So this is the way how they attract more users to use these specific payment methods. Moment advertisement will be pretty much similar to Facebook. Social giftings, so I use the social network to send some gifts over, social coupons, and also push notifications. Tourists walking within the terminal of Heathrow will get a push notification of some discount or some promotion using Alipay, for example. So these are different services. Not all of them are familiar here in Europe. And every merchant that is plugged in to this kind of payment methods should be aware there's a lot more behind it. Actually, our recommendation is that the marketing department will lead this and not the IT payment department. because this is the right way to engage, and this is how you get the volumes. So we, as a payment company, we facilitate, of course, the technology and the integration and the support, and also the front end for the merchants, but also help in connection with the providing the marketing campaigns, and provide a lot of consultancy and direct connections to WeChat and Alipay in that regard. A case study, I welcome all of our distinguished guests from China. When you go back home, buy a fine whiskey to your husband, or a cosmetics for your wife, or a red bus toy for your kid, use WeChat or Alipay in the duty-free shops, and make David smile, because this is our solution over there. And again, this is one of the case studies. We have other merchants all across London, and we are expanding also in Europe, in the UK, in other regions. Thank you very much. I took a specific business case, might not be relevant to all the audience, but I believe all the audience here will be somehow interested in doing business with China. Be patient, invest, be strategic, and there's a lot other and different things to learn. So good luck, and thank you very much.